Fight fans, welcome back to Carl Prusa MMA. I'm Carl Prusa today. I'm with Mr. Angel Pacheco, getting ready. Big UFC Mexico contest. Taking on Santiago Luna on February 28th. Angel, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
Pretty good. We just got back from the PI out here in Mexico. It's in walking distance, like 10-minute walk. We're pretty much the last group of people out of there. By pretty much by 8 o'clock, they kick everyone out. So we got out of there, came back to the hotel, finished my food up, and now I'm having a conversation with you.
What was with the decision of going down about 2 weeks early? Is that just something to get acclimated to the environment?
Yeah, that was the big decision maker. A lot of guys that end up coming out only for a week or whatever the case is, they don't acclimate properly by the time they fight, and then they feel it. Being out here, the couple days we've trained already, like I definitely have felt it. Obviously, it's always going to be a little bit more of an intense thing when you're fighting, going live, and everything like that. But I've noticed it for sure. I think the team talking to like my head coach, or not my head coach, my manager and my head coach Brock Larson talked about it with the PI and stuff to make sure what the proper like time frame is. And a lot of guys are doing 2 weeks. Some say maybe a little more. Or I feel great, honestly. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. You've been doing this for such a long time. You've been doing it before it was cool, started over 10 years ago. I think on Topology, earliest amateur contest has you back
Yeah.
2012. What was the landscape like back then? You know, were you
Yeah.
finding yourselves finding bars, barns outside? Do you have any crazy locations of early promotions?
Yeah, no, I think the craziest place I fought was a sand pit actually out in Brainerd, Minnesota. It was I think it was a CFX or something like that. I can't remember the abbreviation for the fight promotion, but yeah, no, it was a sand pit. It was like I'm assuming they ride motorcycle or something out there, but I remember I remember a gust of wind would go and just sand hit my face. So yeah, that's probably the craziest place I've ever fought.
Absolutely. You know, so many people are watching mixed martial arts now, but very few people understand what's it like to be a professional fighter. You know, to make it to the UFC, it's a lot. Staying up late, waking up early, these 9 to 5 jobs. You're not making Conor McGregor money fighting on the regional scene. You sacrifice everything maybe to fight in one of the big shows. You're there. The sacrifices still continue. You're sacrificing daily to do this. What's made you stick through this crazy career, this crazy journey?
Yeah, man, that's hard because like obviously it's I feel like honestly it's just like the love of the sport. If I just did this for money, I definitely would have stopped a really long time ago. Like I could just get a full-time job and work a 9 to 5 or whatever and probably make more money yearly at this point. But I mean obviously if I can get like 3 fights a year, that's a little different story. But for the most part, I think UFC fighters get guaranteed like 2 fights a year. But to keep you in it through all the injuries, the back sets, and like things like that, obviously emotional things as well. Man, it's just the love of it. Honestly, it's a long, hard grind, and if you don't like it or if you don't love it, I feel like it's gonna break you, chew you up, spit you out. It's not an easy sport. Like I know guys with like 8 knee surgeries, and they're still pursuing this and still doing this. So there's guys that love it, and there's guys that just, they think it's going to be glamorous or whatever the case is. It's a lot harder. And even myself, the position I'm in, it's a small percentage of fighters that get to that point. So yeah, it's definitely the love of the sport and just the grind.
Do you feel that fighting is more mental than it is physical?
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%. It's always gonna, at least for me personally, I've always felt it's more mental. Um, Kind of where your headspace is normally what performs, what shows through, in my opinion. A lot of people, think it might just be like the more physical, athletic guy. But I feel like if that was the case, my career wouldn't have gone as well overall. It was all off of athleticism and things like that. So obviously, there's heart and grit and determination, but yeah, your mindset is a huge thing. Like you can't go in not being confident, 'cause then you're just gonna be flat. You're not gonna fight well, or even like fighting with something on your mind, um, that's gonna distract you or kind of make you hesitant in whatever way. It's definitely mental. I feel like it's probably like 80% mental and 20% physical. Honestly, that might be crazy to say, but in my own experiences, I feel like when I'm when my head's straight, I feel like I'm unstoppable essentially. So it's what you believe deep down. You can say things, but if you don't believe it, it doesn't show, you know?
You've been affiliated with one of the biggest teams in the world, obviously the New England Cartel. You have Rob Font up there, Calvin Cater up there,
Yeah.
Routinho, Tyson Chartier. How did that all come about?
Tyson is my manager, actually. I met him through Brock Larson. Um, he managed what he used to manage one of my teammates, Bobby Lee. Uh, and he just kind of has known Brock for a good while. They're good friends. I met him. I actually went out to help Rob Font get ready to fight Adrian Yanez, or I can't remember what his first name is. Adriano Yanez, maybe.
Adrian Yanez.
Um, yes, there we go. I went out there actually to help him get ready for him because he's a pretty boxing heavy fighter. Obviously, Rob ended up winning that fight, but uh, yeah, that was kind of the first connection with them. I went out there for a couple weeks. They treated me great. Obviously, they pushed me, and it was good work back and forth for each other. I got to meet the team, got to actually stay at Tyson's house for 2 weeks. And then I went out there again for camp against Danny Silva for the Contender Series fight. I was out there for like 6 weeks or 5 weeks or something like that. So I actually know Tyson's family pretty well, like his kids, his wife, his sister. I got to meet the team, everybody. Chris is actually on the card as well, this coming up weekend. And ever since I met Chris, I hit it off with him. He's a cool dude. Get along real well with him. But everybody in that gym, pretty much, they're good guys. I haven't met like a dude I don't get along with from that gym. Mitch Raposo's out here right now too with us. Um, and sorry, Tanner Tremblay, also from my home gym, Start BJJ in Minnesota, is out here with me as well. He's kind of the extra body for me as well, helping me get ready and stuff like that. So I appreciate him coming out here, getting away from his family as well. But yeah, that's how we kind of connected because he became my manager. I like Tyson a lot. He's like one of my favorite people in the world. He's so much like Brock. It's not even funny. But obviously, I've been with Brock since I was 19, so I get along with him real well too. But yeah, that's how we all got connected, and I got to meet them guys and learn a lot from them.
Obviously you've been doing this for quite a long time, but when you look at like a guy like Brock Larson, I mean, he's been doing this really before it was cool. I mean, over like 50 contests, UFC back in the day, true pioneer of the sport. What's it like being with the guy who's literally been in the sport since the infancy of it?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. He has so much knowledge. He knows so many people in the sport as well. Like, sorry about that. He knows so many people in the sport as well, like the Nogueras, and just I'll see people, like we'll go to different states and stuff. Like sometimes I help corner different guys in our team and stuff. He talks to everybody, he knows everybody, pretty much everybody knows him. Yeah, he's been around forever, since the days where they fight like 3 or 4 times in one night, or they'll pick someone out of the crowd and be like, "You want to fight tonight?" Um, with no like drug testing or blood work or anything. They just throw anybody in there. So yeah, he has some crazy stories. He has some insane stories of fights and stuff like that back in the day. But yeah, no, he's a great mentor. He's not only like a good coach, like a good guy to learn from in that sense, like with skills, but I look up a lot to Brock, like as a father figure. Like I look at him and I think like, man, this is a good man. You know, he's a good person. So I appreciate him being in my life in general. Like even once I'm done fighting someday and no longer doing all this stuff, he's gonna be a good friend of mine until the day I die.
You know, the first time we got to see you in a UFC branded promotion was the Dana White Contender Series in 2023. Where were you at when you got this phone call that you were going to fight on the Contender? You remember?
I actually do. I was actually sitting on Tyson Charier's couch. It was me, my wife, and at the time my daughter Alessia. She was, I want to say, like 2 years old, maybe. We were out there, man. I think I was helping Rob get ready to fight. Who was he gonna fight? Uh, uh, not Dong's son. Uh, he just recently fought. He just fought O'Malley.
I was signing it on.
What is his name? Oh, yep. He was getting ready to fight Song Yadong, and then I went out there for like a week or two just to help him get ready. And we're sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden Tyson looks at me. It was like between practices or something. He looks at me. He's like, "Angel, you just got the call," and I'm like, "What? I'm going to the UFC?" He's like, "You got the call of the Contender Series." I was just like, let's go. I was so excited. Um, then they told me the opponent, it was Danny Silva, obviously, which is crazy because I think like a week earlier, before that, I got offered Danny Silva to fight him in LFA for the LFA fights. And we had said no, we're gonna try to see if we're getting on Contender pretty much, and then we ended up fighting for Dana White Contender Series, and it was a wild fight, super crazy fight. I remember though, like getting that news, looking him up right away, looking at his style and everything, and I right away knew like this is gonna be a crazy fight. Like I figured like if I can't stop him, if I can't put him away, it's gonna be an insane fight. And yeah, it turned out to be an insane fight.
Absolutely. And that fight, we really got to see how tough you were. Obviously, it didn't go your way, but you found yourself in the UFC by getting a contract out of it. Did that surprise you? Or after that contest, did you think you were going to get in?
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember being in the back, and I got that like viral video kind of where I'm like in tears or whatever. And like it's not even like the bumps and bruises that does it. It's fighting. I've been hurt before in training and fighting and stuff like that. It was the emotional toll it took. It kind of just felt like I let my family down, let my wife down. Like I don't only sacrifice, she sacrifices a lot as well. And I just felt like I was kind of in a do or die situation with my age and just everything like that. So I was in tears, and I was pretty much like, "Hey Dana," and I didn't expect to get signed or anything, but I just told him like, "Hey, I know this might be stupid. I just lost the fight, but um, if there's ever a short notice opportunity, I would love to take it," is what I told him. And he must have appreciated that. Obviously, my ear was a mess. um, and I had like a couple cuts here or there on my face, maybe, but I had just fought in a crazy war, and I'm asking to have another fight. So I'm sure he probably appreciated that. And then yeah, I was in the hospital. We're actually both in the hospital, um, sitting right next to each other. I talked to him a little bit too, but and then my dad comes in the back because they had to do like some scans. They did some work on my ear at the time in the Vegas hospital, and my dad tells me like, "Hey, you got signed." Uh, oh no, no, actually, it was a buddy. I was on the phone with one of my buddies, and he was watching it live. And he's like, "You got signed, you got signed." And then my dad told me afterward as well. But yeah, no, it was super. I was super ecstatic, and I just wanted to jump for joy. Uh, it was a great feeling. It was very surprising though. I didn't expect to get a contract.
Absolutely. So you're getting ready here on the 28th. Make your return to the octagon. You're taking on the undefeated Santiago Luna. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent here?
Yeah, no, he's definitely a tough guy. Kind of similar situation. I looked at him. I see I believe he's got all finishes as a professional fighter. Uh, I'm pretty sure. If not, maybe one he didn't finish, but for the most part, he finished everybody by either TKO knockout or a submission. Super dangerous guy. I obviously expect a tough fight. Um, I know it's not going to be easy to deny him. He's young, he's hungry, and he's undefeated. But I got to be that brick wall for him early in his career, and stop that train, that hype train a little bit, and put the brakes on him a little bit. I think I think my style is a good style for him. Um, he's a good wrestler. He's a good striker as well. But as long as I'm defensively responsible, I honestly believe it's a good stylistic matchup for me. I just got to make sure at some point when we are grappling, uh, I don't allow him to get to like stall positions or kind of get me stuck anywhere, you know. Um, my last fight, I made some errors, tactical errors, gave my back up, and I kind of got stuck pretty early in that first round. That was like a hole kind of dig myself out of. And on top of that, I was very lacking in my discipline with my hands, my defense. Um, so yeah, I've touched on a lot of these things, and a lot of it's just reminders. Um, but my last performance, I don't like thinking about even because I will watch it back and I'm like, that wasn't even me. I get so frustrated with myself. But like I said, that headspace issue, my head is clear now. I don't like making excuses or anything like that, obviously. But um, for this fight, 100%, we're gonna get the best Angel Pacheco there is. And if he's good enough, he's good enough. But I don't believe he is. I believe I'm gonna make a statement in Mexico City, and I'm excited about that.
This is a fight for me where I got really excited about. When you look at you, all of your wins as a pro have come by some sort of finish, whether it be knockout or
Yeah,
submission. He's got 100% finish rate. Does a fight like this
yeah,
excite you?
yeah. No, it doesn't just excite me; it scares me, and that's kind of why I feel like it puts me on this edge. Like right now, even talking about it, like I can feel my hairs on like the back of my neck like standing up because my pride and stuff like that. I refuse to let somebody do that to me. I'm not gonna let anybody finish me like that. Like if you're good enough, you're good enough, I guess. But I just don't believe there's a man on earth that can do that to me. You're gonna have to prove it to me, and you're gonna have to kill me to do that, in my opinion. Obviously, that cage shuts, and whatever happens happens. But yeah, I'm super motivated for this fight. The fact that he's undefeated, the fact that he finishes everybody, I just feel like uh, it's gonna put me on that edge where it's like I know how high the stakes are. It's not losing. It's not just losing. It's the fact that you're gonna get embarrassed. And I know like maybe some people don't look at it that way, but that shit's embarrassing. Getting finished is embarrassing, in my opinion. Um, and that's no shade on anybody that has lost by finish or whatever the case might be. Obviously, like I said, anybody can get put to sleep. Anybody can get caught and choke or caught and armbarred or whatever. But that's just my ego or my pride, maybe speaking of. But as a man, I plan on going out there and finishing him and making a statement for myself. And that's fine. You can go your career without, seeing third round, as long as I'm the one that's going to finish you, and it's going to be 7-1 for you.
You know, a lot of cool stuff happening right now in the UFC. Obviously, this big Paramount deal has been pretty cool. Another cool thing, there's more finish bonuses now. I think, you know, you get any sort of finish now, you get a bonus.
Yeah.
Performance of the night's bonus are now like $100,000. You're the type of guy, like I said before, man, you go for the finish. You made your whole career out of doing it. Does that pump you up even more? There's more incentive on the line to go out there and do your thing?
No, it definitely is way more exciting in that sense. Um, I think uh, I think my style and his style together is gonna make an insane fight either way. And I think it's gonna be a little bit undeniable. We're opening up the main card as well. But I think we're gonna make a statement in there. But yes, it's super exciting to think like, hey, you could get an extra 100,000, an extra, I believe it's like 25,000 for a finish or something like that. So yeah, no, it's super exciting, super exciting. Um, just that extra motivation of knowing that's the like set amount, and it's not just it's not just like the win show bonus or whatever. It's like it's an official. No matter what, you get a finish, you're getting 25K. So that's pretty awesome. And then that extra 100K, that's for a person like myself, that's life changing. So yes, 100%.
Absolutely. So you train out of Minnesota. We're starting to see some more fighters come out there. Obviously not Brock Larson, but now you have yourself. You have Mr. Steven Asplin's doing big things. You have his
Yeah,
teammate Thomas Peterson. Pretty cool to
yeah.
see some other guys from Minnesota going out there now.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I've actually been able to have the pleasure to train with Steven before. Obviously, I don't really spar with that big guy. He's a monster. He's a big dude. There's also Guzzi Hines as well that's out there. Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of studs. There's John Castaneda. Um, yeah, and I feel like too, like the community in general, like I wasn't able to make it out to the academy this camp, but John reached out, all these guys reached out, said, hey, let's get you in here, help you prepare for the fight and things like that. Unfortunately, my own life situations didn't allow me to get out there, but I definitely appreciated that. And no, it's great to see Minnesota, making noise, creating all these good athletes, creating all these good fighters, and getting them to the next stage, whether it be the UFC, PFL, other promotions. Obviously, Bellator's not around anymore, but I was about to say that. But yeah, no, it's awesome. And our gym alone, I do feel like the kid that's out here with me right now, Tanner Trimley, he's super close, I think, to getting at the least a contender series shot. He's 6-0 as well with all finishes. So, uh, yeah, there's just a lot of studs out here, out in Minnesota, and people are just working hard. And like I said, I think the community of MMA, like, it's not super split. It's not like everybody hating on each other, like, oh, that guy's not that good. Everybody pretty much uplifts each other. But yeah, no, Steve is an awesome guy. He's a good person. I'm so happy for him. He had a great performance his UFC debut as well.
You know, one thing I love about martial arts, man, are the values, the morals that are in it. I've had so many guys on this show tell me when they first began, they were lost. They didn't have guidance. They didn't have structure. Martial arts showed them who they are, the husbands, the father they are there today, save them lives, whatever it is. For you, how have you grown and evolved from being in this sport?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say like my life would have gone badly, honestly. I had good parent figures in my life. Obviously, they're not perfect. No parent is perfect, and I've realized that too, being a parent of two now. Uh, it's not easy, Life isn't easy. But a- as like uh, as like as for MMA and like sports and martial arts in general, kind of molding my life, it it's made me less of a lazy human being. Like I do feel like I could tend to, especially before I started fighting. Uh, by middle school, I was like 200 pounds. I was a big kid. I was just playing video games all the time. I was addicted to World of Warcraft. I just ate and played video games for like 16 hours and watched like WWE and stuff like that. So I was a pretty unhealthy kid. My dad walks in the room, shows me a tape of the UFC. I watched it, get addicted. And then, yeah, it's showed me kind of that work ethic and what it takes. And my dad's always kind of told me, like, you can say something, but your actions are always going to show what you really want, what your desire is. And that shows through in life in general, whether it's being a good husband, being a good father, being a good martial artist. I can say, like, I want to do something, but if I'm not running every day, if I'm not lifting every day, if I'm not, pushing myself to some sort of extent, it's not necessarily true, it's the fruits of your labor kind of thing. So I think out of everything, that's kind of the thing martial arts is kind of like put into me is you got to work hard for what you want, and don't make excuses for yourself. It's hard sometimes because we're human, obviously, to kind of just be like, well, I'm tired today, or I don't want to do that, or I don't feel like doing this. But those little habits can kind of train wreck you or success in anything, whether it be, like I said, being a parent, husband, or athlete.
What do you want your kids to take away from this journey?
I think honestly, the biggest thing is like you can achieve anything as long as you put your heart to it. Like I said, when I seen the UFC the first time, I was a 14-year-old kid. I was 200 pounds. I wasn't an athlete in any way, shape, or form. I was at the time living in Olivia, Minnesota. I'm originally from Wilmer, Minnesota. There are no UFC fighters from Wilmer, Minnesota, or Olivia, Minnesota. At least not that I know of. I was the first. I wasn't a kid that grew up wrestling. Wasn't a kid that grew up boxing necessarily. Uh, but from that day, I asked my dad, like, "Hey, can you show me boxing?" And he did, and we're here now. Like I think the biggest thing I could tell my kids from my fight journey is believe in yourself, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, and where your mindset is and your headspace is. Like if you truly believe, like, hey, I'm gonna get here, you can get here. Obviously, my route isn't like necessarily the traditional way by losing on contender and stuff like that, but that doesn't change or determine how my UFC career will be. And it doesn't matter that my last fight didn't go as planned. It's the choices I make from going forward every day that's going to determine my career. Um, but I'm gonna let my kids know, like, hey, don't. There's gonna be a lot of doubters. Do not listen to them. Listen to your heart. If you truly love something, you're gonna work hard for it. You're gonna get to it, and at the end of your life, you can lay down in bed and say, hey, maybe I was or wasn't good enough to pursue this dream of mine, but I tried. And you're not going to have that regret in your heart that you didn't ever try. So I think that's the biggest thing. I pray to God neither of my children want to fight. Fighting is a very hard sport, but I'll support whatever they do. But even if it is fighting, I'll support it. But I I just want them to know, like, shoot for the stars, and you might end up hitting them.
Absolutely. All right, Angel, last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome February 28th when you make your return to the UFC in Mexico against Santiago Luna?
In a perfect world, we go out there, start exchanging. Uh, I make him a little bit over anxious, starts to grapple. I stop takedowns. I get back to my feet. We get back to fighting, and I put him away on the feet. I honestly think he's a hittable guy, and I think I have the power to put him away.
Awesome. Well, Angel, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of the night. I know you're in Mexico getting ready for the fight, but I really appreciate it. Can't wait to watch this one. It's going to be a treat for the fans.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. That's it for us tonight. I'm Carl Prusa. He is Mr. Angel Pacheco. You can watch him February 28th, making his return to the UFC Octagon in Mexico and takes on Santiago Luna. Take care, fight fans.